spectacular aerial views there of the Avenida Diagonal.
It's called a beauty shot in the trade, Simon, and really, to be honest with you, right now you can see why it's called that. And there's one from the other side that looks over the shoulder of the Camp Nou down towards the sea, and you understand why people flock to this city and just that stadium.
The Barcelona stadium, the Camp Nou, which we can't quite see yet, enjoying a fantastic Clásico, the Clásico number 245 in the history between these two huge clubs.
Just flying over the old bull ring, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Which I think a British architect, Foster, I think, changed into a beautiful shopping centre. And as you pointed out, we can't quite, it's just tantalising us, isn't it, that we're going to come over. It looks like a city of coral, I think.
It certainly does. The city of Barcelona, absolutely magnificent as we near the Camp Nou. It's a special Clásico, of course, no fans in the Coliseum dedicated to Football Club Barcelona. But what we've seen on the pitch, Graham, has been spectacular. 5 minutes in, Real Madrid go 1-0 up. 3 minutes later, Barcelona respond. Goals from Fede Valverde for Real Madrid and Ansu Fati for Barcelona. Been a lot of talk about the inclusion in the Barcelona lineup of the two teenagers, Dest and Pedri, but Ansu Fati, Graham, we forget how young he is. I mean, how exciting is it going to be following? As you look at him there, he doesn't look, wow,
I'm leaning on a lamppost as the world goes by.
But how exciting is it now that we're nearing the end of the age of Leo Messi? We've seen and lost Cristiano Ronaldo after his brilliant years in La Liga, but how exciting is it to think that we're going to have Ansu Fati for a long time? To my mind, at his age, an absolute world-class talent, as he showed with that brilliant finish, opening the foot, pushing the ball beyond Courtois, getting on the end of the assist from Jordi Alba. It was a great way for Barcelona to respond to an excellent opening goal from Real Madrid and Fede Valverde.
A couple of things I'll pick up on is that at the age you and I have got to in our careers, we've seen many footballers of exorbitant talent. The fact is that not all of them are blessed with a temperament and an intelligence and a balance that allows them to fulfill all of that. We're looking at two maestros now, both in their 30s, Benzema and Messi. Each of them have had moments in this game. Messi particularly the pass that released Alba for the goal you're talking about when Ansu scored. And okay, we can look at little collisions like this, little moments like this all you want, but on your point about Ansu, he has got, they call it, he's got good furniture in his head. It's like a feng shui expression that he's not just mature and cocky at his age, he's earned the respect of really hard-bitten footballers like Messi, like Piqué, like Suarez, if you remember the moment when he became the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Champions League, as Schroeder, the ex-Ajax coach, who has helped integrate Dest, walks out, followed by Henrik Larsson, who arrived and helped win the 2006 European Cup.
Koeman there with Ramos, respect shown from Ramos to Koeman, as it should be. Ronald Koeman, an absolute icon here for Barcelona in the Nou Camp. We've mentioned Ansu Fati. How about the other two teenagers? Because to my mind, Serginho Dest has played an impeccable first half. Pedri has struggled a bit more.
Dest has looked as if he belongs. I think that one of the things that, when we go back and look at a game afterwards, that will probably emerge is that he's been judgmental about how often he can go forward. In fact, in games on his weaker side, when he's been playing on the left side, he's played further forward more often in matches against slightly weaker opponents than he's done today. Now, I think at 19 in your first Clásico, particularly given that you're on your right foot, which means you can go wide or long and open the pitch up, his judgment at when to stay and when to go has been good. And I think he's, maybe this expression will be judged to be maladroit, I think he's been carrying Pedri to a certain extent. Pedri's pass accuracy percentage has been awful, and he's looked a little bit intimidated, which is the opposite of your point about Dest. Dest has looked as if he belongs, absolutely as if he belongs. And I just pass back to you, more respect there. Benzema and Messi, a little higher good luck at the beginning of the second half. That's That's really pleasant to see. But now let's get back to battle, eh?
No changes made by either coach for the start of the second half. Nacho, of course, went off in the closing minutes of the first half, replaced by Lucas Vazquez, playing at right back today for Real Madrid. Lucas Vazquez playing at right back today for Real Madrid as Barcelona on the attack. Here is Pedri. It's chested down by Ramos. It makes it quite clear that it was chested down. There's a stretch there for Busquets. Under pressure by the pace of Vinicius. Busquets did well and hasn't perhaps enjoyed his best 45 minutes of a Clásico so far.
All done, though. You have to love the fact that Ramos can lead his team and be Marceau at the same time. He didn't just take the referee's decision, he described to the world why it wasn't a penalty. I love that, man. He's just fantastic.
Leo Messi on the ball for Barcelona, dropping really deep. The Barca captain, he squares it to Clement Lenglet. Now Frenkie de Jong. Back to Messi. Gives it away to Toni Kroos. Valverde there, back to Varane. Kroos quick to find Valverde again. Nice. It's quick and sharp from Madrid. Asensio wide to Benzema. Benzema trying to cut inside Lenglet. Gets away from de Jong. Into the space for Mendy. 3 men in the area for Mendy's cross. Lenglet gets there first. Corner for Real Madrid.
Benzema's had an odd day in that he missed what he would consider a sitter, didn't connect sufficiently to make Neto really have to save well in the first half. Yet that's good associative play. Okay, he needs goals, he wants a goal as we look at a firm challenge that Coutinho suffered at the hands of Lucas. But Benzema's associative play there to miss the opportunity to overlap on the right, but then get the ball to Mendy and win this corner. Decent start.
Kroos is blocked by Ansu Fati, goes out for another Real Madrid corner.
I'm a little surprised that they wanted to play this short. I think they have an aerial and physical advantage against the team which is not the almost. I mean, look at that matchup.
Pedri.
How can it be Pedri and Casemiro?
Yeah.
Now the ball has to go in that situation.
Kroos with another opportunity puts it in, and Ramos was up for it. Gerard Piqué 2, and the ball goes out for a goal kick.
Twice now, Ramos has won headers at corners, and okay, only one of them was on target, but I think that there is a bounty there to be had for Real Madrid if they can win corners and use them properly.
De Jong under pressure, Benzema doing really well. De Jong responding though, nods it back to Neto's quick to play the ball out. Alba, Asensio takes it off him. Just as they started the first half, Madrid looking the sharper of the two sides, although that one put out of touch by Valverde. It'll be a throw to Barcelona.
Yeah, Neto's use of the ball over the top with the throw there was not only intelligent, it was a relief to him. Barcelona, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, playing out from the back, really do have problems, can be pressed and aren't as good at it without Stegen.
Piqué gets it back from Pedri, who in retrospect might have thought that the pass to his feet with Toni Kroos right on top of him wasn't the greatest ball ever, or the greatest gift ever. Here's De Jong. Gets it back from Jordi Alba. Busquets. Lenglet to De Jong. Busquets. Dest. Pedri. A little bit too slow in releasing it there, Pedri, who's showing and apologising too as he picks out Alba.
He'd offered the 1-2 and then declined it himself.
Messi gets away from Lucas. Lucas standing firm and winning the ball back, although it comes to Alba, now De Jong. Busquets. De Jong. How tight those Real Madrid lines are. Coutinho to Ansu, got away from him, and Casemiro was there to pick up the loose ball. Mendy turning back, finding Ramos. Ramos surging forward. Couldn't quite get the ball out from under his feet. He's forced to play it back to Valverde. It wasn't a good ball, but Valverde absolutely brilliantly holding on to it. Lucas to Asensio. Valverde again. Crossfield ball to Mendy. Vinicius outside him, Mendy striding forward. Vinicius, Cruz, Casemiro, going to try a shot, drags it wide. You can see the disappointment, but worth a go.
One of the things that you were setting us up for in the second half was about the spectacle we saw in the first half was so toe-to-toe, so all-out attacking, that I think two things result. One, it's a daring thing from both sides. We're in match day 7. Okay, the build-up to this match has meant that each of them feels an extra premium to win it. But to go flat out like that has given a spectacle and is not necessarily what you'd see in match day 7. And secondly, it's left tired bodies already.
Finds Fati. Ansu Fati in the area. Ramos in front of him. He goes outside Ramos and puts the ball inches beyond the far post. So close from Ansu Fati. Messi clearly knows that Fati's the man.
The cutback
passing to this.
Yeah, Messi's cleared a cutback for Pedri, and now that tailing off, that's the kind of thing that I go on and on about players who know how to play with Messi, because other players shrink under that from Messi.
Still Barcelona. Jordi Alba with a cross, just too firm for Ansu.
But Ansu doesn't, Simon. He got a ticking off from the greatest player in history there. It was an unnecessary one because Ansu saw the angle, very nearly scored. But I promise you that on a daily basis, not just in matches, many players have shriveled when they come under that venomous gaze of Messi. Now, Messi's the best, so he's allowed to do things like that, but it isn't always productive. It will bounce off Ansu. He's Teflon.
Dest with a good run, but it comes up against a brick wall called Sergio Ramos. De Jong. Dest.
Oh, quick
feet. So well. Gets the return ball, goes down. He just didn't have the momentum to continue. And he's told to get to his feet by referee Martinez Munuera.
I think for the first time today, when the Martinez Munuera brothers see that on repeat, they may think that there was a foul as Dest tried to go on to the return ball.
Varane to Lucas Vázquez. Varane again. Asensio. It's blocked by Alba. Throw into Real Madrid.
This is absolutely superb. No, it's just a hip. It's whatever happens. I think Ramos definitely just does a little samba beat with his hip and gets away with it. And football's for smart guys, don't worry.
De Jong does really well, finds Busquets. Messi. Brilliant from Messi. Absolutely brilliant. Pedri.
Oh, Messi desperate for it.
Ansu Fati. Messi in the middle, so too is Coutinho. Coutinho with a header into the side netting. Excellent break from Barcelona, and it should really be 2-1.
That reminded me of the midweek. Messi was sort of dormant for a little while. He woke up to the fact that Ferencváros' fullback was knackered, and he yelled, he demanded to his teammates, give me the ball right now. As he ran forward there, as Ansu moved, he thought there was a gap between the centre halves. He'd seen something that only Messi sees, and he wanted the ball. In fact, Coutinho didn't put it in, left him with one of those angry glares again.
And Graham, the Real Madrid defence absolutely split wide open.
And they can be grateful that it was the little Brazilian who was in the end of the header, because there are several players in that Barca team, irrespective of height, who would have buried that.
Messi again. Still fascinatingly poised, this one, as Coutinho runs at Asensio. Ramos. Does well to find Casemiro. Coutinho takes it off him, though.
It's not often you see Casemiro have his pocket picked twice in a really big game by pocket-sized footballers like he has today.
Messi. Trying to feed it through to Ansu Fati, who's penalised for the challenge on Mendy.
We saw several players warming up, and I think this is a game, as we look at the way in which, okay, Courtois has done his work. His work is good.
I mean, that's the point, Graham, isn't it? That we can criticise players for missing the target, but with Courtois there, they have to look for
The bottom corner.
The bottom corner, it has to be really precise.
Shaving the post.
Just inside the post. And,
you're right.
That's the reason for missing the target, I guess. Lucas, good ball to Valverde, nods it down intelligently to Benzema. Lucas stretching Busquets there. Finds Coutinho. Coutinho comes up against Cruz, the ball falling to Busquets. Messi playing it on to Pedri. Pedri wide to Serginho Dest.
I think Coutinho can begin to count his minutes on the pitch. He's made errors that are not at the standard of his play this season.
De Jong. Coutinho to Busquets. Messi. Well, it fell for him. Pedri returning it to Busquets. De Jong. Dest. Back to Busquets. Dest goes down. Barcelona throw, no, Real Madrid throw.
Tiny calibration from the first half. Dest higher up the pitch. Pedri much more like an inside forward now. It's Messi's ball. Who else? Alba's delivery is shorter in distance than Messi's was. It's just as accurate. Ansu opens the inside of his right boot and angles it beyond the Belgian.
Lucas Vázquez cuts inside Coutinho. It's a good ball as well to Valverde. Valverde cuts it back to Vinicius. Outside him, Benzema. Benzema trying to find the top right-hand corner, but not his best.
When they do their video rerun of this during the week, they'll look at the fact that, okay, although Casemiro was ignored by the players on the ball, he had an ocean of space from the moment Lucas released the through ball. Casemiro could and should have been used there. He's a far more dangerous player going forward than a lot of people give him credit for.
Lenglet for Barcelona. Busquets back to Gerard Piqué. Still Gerard Piqué. Pedri to Messi. Piqué.
High line from Madrid. Barcelona haven't yet found the time in the past to release beyond that line.
Good ball from Coutinho to Alba, and an important block from Lucas Vázquez. Asensio plays the ball out, finds Casemiro, now Valverde. Ramos to Asensio. He's got Mendy with him.
All right, man away.
Ball from Dest. Free kick to Real Madrid. No. Fairly clear, that one, I think.
Now,
Cruz and Asensio standing over it.
Possibilities here. Haven't used the ball particularly well from set plays yet, but for many seasons, the Cruz-Ramos combination has been extremely good. You pointed out that all four of Ramos's classical goals have been from his head. This is a big opportunity.
Cruz swings it in. Nobody got on the end of it. That'll be a goal kick. And Ramos appealing for a penalty, and Martinez Munuera clearly being spoken to by Sanchez Martinez in the VAR operation room. Well, he's got a hold of Ramos's shirt. Whether Ramos needs to go down like that
and go in the opposite direction from which he was been tugged, you know, I mean, you know, Simon, Longley effectively has committed an offence there.
Yep.
I think Ramos over-eggs it, like you pointed out, because he's going, if he's being tugged properly, you go the direction in which you're being tugged rather than the other way. Nonetheless.
Nervy moments for the home side in the Camp Nou, as the VAR consultation continues. Coming up to the hour mark, will Ramos be awarded a penalty?
That beauty shot showed us the old phrase about the Camp Nou being between life and death. The maternity hospital to the right, the the crematorium just up to the left. And we're looking at the moment again where Ramos claims that he was pulled to the ground, where in fact there was a tug, and referees have been given a lot of liberty to interpret the type of...
We saw one last week where the player's shirt had a massive hole in and it wasn't given. I can't remember now which game that was in.
Yeah,
but,
I think we're talking about Real Sociedad against Betis.
Yeah, we are.
And it was the Betis player, if I'm not wrong, Sanabria, who complained that he'd had his jersey tugged. And
you're absolutely right, it was Sanabria.
I don't think the foul was given, actually.
It wasn't given, but
No.
the hole in his shirt was absolutely massive. So that's precedent, but I mean, looking at the image, you can't be surprised if the referee points to the spot and gives a penalty.
I agree with you with the fact that I think traditionalists will say, well, that's the kind of traffic bumps that you get at corner kicks, and if you give that every time, you'll have 76 penalties per game. Well, all right.
The dive is spectacular.
The laws say Longley has committed an offence.
Absolutely.
And therefore, he's been unwise.
What is the decision?
Yeah, looks
It's
like
a yellow card.
penalty.
Penalty to Messi's disgust as he turns away from the referee, but having seen the images, it is a huge decision, but it's the correct one, Graham. He gets a hold of his shirt.
Longley's made
I'll tell you what, that
mistake.
will make Tony Sanabria watching this absolutely furious.
They all ask for consistency, I agree. But I think one of the things we've learned, again, across our career is to put a focus on the player rather than the referee.
I think we've also learned that this man is pretty good at taking penalties too. It's Ramos's moment against Neto.
I think it's 23 penalties straight since he last missed, which was against Sevilla in the league. He then took one later in that match and scored and began his run. He tends to, if he's very confident, he'll Panenka it. If not, it tends to go low to the other side.
His last three, we've just seen in the graphic, have gone top right-hand corner, top middle, top left. It's Ramos against Neto, the chance for the Madrid captain to put Madrid back in the lead, and he does it! Ramos the man. Neto went the right way but couldn't get there. It's superbly taken. He didn't blast it this time. Took it low as you suggested, and it's Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 2. Ramos putting Madrid ahead. Koeman shaking his head, but we've seen the image. You cannot deny that that is a givable penalty. Langley with a hold of Ramos's shirt. Ramos going down like a sack of potatoes.
He's a history man. He doesn't miss. It's almost in the keeper's right side panel. Nobody has played more classical football in the history of this match than Ramos. Across all competitions, he's the #1 appearance maker. When he's out, they lose, particularly in big games. He's back. He was a doubt. He was injured last week against Cardiff. Back, wins the penalty, scores the penalty. All he has to do is write the theme tune.
And we saw his habitual celebration to the camera there. One of these days, someone's going to pick up the phone and answer, surely. Lucas going in to help Valverde out. He wins the corner.
Well, I said that set plays into the box carried a lot of threat. I don't know whether Longley's decision echoes what I was suggesting, that there is an aerial and physical advantage. I do think that if you take the point of the horrible way Barcelona defended corners at Anfield, the horrible way they defended corners against Sevilla, giving away the goal from a corner, I don't think they've got that nailed yet, and I think Ramos took advantage of it generally there.
Cruz. More danger for Barcelona. This time Piqué heads clear. The ball collected by Vinicius. Here's Mendy. Well, with 19 minutes into this second half, Madrid have gone 2-1 up. Time maybe for Koeman to start moving the bench, Graham.
You know already, from what I've said off, Mike, that I think that time was possibly overdue. I'd have said that Coutinho and Pedri both underperformed to such an extent that I'd have thought one or other of them changed at half-time might have been a sensible move. I think that time's overdue now. But for Real Madrid, they too need to think about, do they want to consolidate? Do they push for what could be a crucial definitive goal or not? And how to manage their resources, given that across this season they've often looked leggy, tired.
Just to put you fully in the picture, apart from the two keepers, Iñaki and Arnau Tenas, on the bench for Barcelona. Araujo, Aleñá, Griezmann, Pjanic, Braithwaite, Dembélé, Riqui Puig, Trincao, Sergio Roberto and Junior Firpo, as Gerard Piqué prevents Vinicius's return ball, finding Benzema. Toni Kroos penalised for a challenge.
They're looking for a third, and they're right to as well.
Courtois. Real Madrid dominating the possession of the ball in this game, Graham. You don't often see that from Real Madrid in a Clásico.
No, it's a point. It's a point that came made earlier on. They are not a long ball team, but they're much more direct now, Football Club Barcelona. And in other words, they mature the play less. They move about like a spider's web less often than they used to do under Villanova or Guardiola or even Valverde. And it doesn't make them less sophisticated, but it does mean that they're on the ball less.
Coutinho forced to retake the throw because Asensio is doing a little bit of keepy-uppy. Here's De Jong. Coutinho. Still Coutinho. He ended up running into a one-way street, but he does win the corner for Barcelona.
Jordi Alba gave a hand gesture of
yeah, you mentioned
marginal discontent with
you mentioned Leo Messi's withering look earlier. That was a little bit more severe, and problems for Valverde.
That would be deeply unwelcome news for Zidane.
Luka Modric getting ready to come on for Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, I make the point seriously. The ultra winners in that team, Piqué, Suarez before he left, Messi, Alba, there is a harshness about them. And everybody has a right to say, well, at top level, why shouldn't there be? But there are some players who respond to that and challenge and stick out their chin, and there are others who fade.
Fascinating image of Modric there, kissing every one of the photos of, presumably, his family on his shin pads before tucking it in there.
Quite right, too.
It's a corner for Barcelona.
Well, I've enjoyed Valverde's participation so far. I really hope that this isn't the end of the match for him. He's just very special footballer, still young, but so hard-working, so clever, committed to the benefit of the team, not his own projection.
Messi with the corner. Ramos getting there ahead of Gerard Piqué. It'll be another corner. And Valverde.
Yeah.
Replaced by Luka Modric.
Decent replacement. Even about to turn 35. Ballon d'Or winner, scorer of a wonder goal in midweek.
Varane jumping all over Ramos to get to that. It's given away to Pedri. Pedri over the top to Ansu Fati. Ramos in there like Sergio Ramos, basically. Absolutely brilliant. The determination he showed there to sprint and take that one off the toes of Ansu as he prepared to shoot. You absolutely astonishing.
The impression from Ansu's face, he stored that one away for later. There'll be a goal celebration one day just to say, "Hi, Sergio, I see you now."
Messi. Lovely ball to Alba. Alba's cross. It comes to Coutinho. It's blocked by Ramos again. Appeals for handball against Messi. And Casemiro there to prevent Messi from shooting. And Real Madrid with backs to the wall defending now. They're doing it brilliantly. But there is a VAR consultation. Not for that. For that.
The game has gone adrift if that's given as a penalty. I know there have been some remarkable decisions around Europe with VAR, but his arm is tied to his body. He's trying to get out of the way. There's no way that can be a penalty kick. VAR and the referee agree with both of us.
But Barcelona have responded. Madrid defending brilliantly, but being put under pressure. Dest running out of room. Casemiro standing on the ball, replacing it, returning it to Mendy.
Isn't it amazing, Simon, how even in a pass as short as the one that Messi released to Alba, the pass, if you get it angled and timed, can be magnificent or average. And Messi's pass to Alba was magnificent.
De Jong. Coutinho completely miscues it under pressure from Asensio, manages to get the ball played on to Alba. And Barcelona lose some of the momentum. Busquets. Piqué. Dest into De Jong. Neat ball to Ansu Fati. Varane sticking to him though. Ansu looking up, plays the ball back to Dest. Here's Messi. Now Busquets. Slow to play it on, and Lucas Vazquez
well
with an
read.
Excellent interception. Finds Benzema, Casemiro, Cruz, and all of a sudden Madrid with numerical advantage here. Vinicius, not the greatest decision taking there from Vinicius Junior.
Well, the execution was awful, because you were right, there were 5v4 right from the first moment that the break was on, and he didn't use that superiority in any way.
Here's Coutinho. Asensio helping out Lucas Vazquez at the right of the Madrid defence. This is De Jong. Coutinho. Cruz winning it back. Asensio now.
He looks out of his depth today, Coutinho, and that's strange to say for somebody who's had a decent season, but he literally looks out of his depth.
Longley does really well to find Messi. Cruz does even better to take the ball off the Argentine. It's Casemiro. Vinicius. Benzema. Mendy outside him. Here's Mendy. Dest with a magnificent challenge, is straight up again and taking the ball back.
Yeah, but his head went down as Ansu ran between.
There's one for Messi to chase. Advantage Courtois.
He did brilliantly, Dest, but a little bit more maturity means that he keeps running with his head up, and Ansu erupted between two with time for Dest to find the pass to make sure that the young Spain international was still onside. He just dropped his head and thought, what do I do, when his eyes should have been telling him before the thought even came to Ansu.
Albert Busquets. Messi. De Jong. Coutinho. Messi again. Coutinho. Pedri wide to Dest. Back to Pedri. Coutinho. Busquets. De Jong. Now Alba. And that's brilliant from Asensio. Absolutely superb.
Well, I can tell you, if Carlo Ancelotti were watching this, his eyebrows would be creeping off the top of his head like caterpillars at the fact that Barcelona haven't replaced weary limbs at this stage of a game whereby they're losing. They haven't had significant breakthroughs in the second half, bar the chance that Coutinho had blocked by Ramos. It's odd that the Dutchman with such power and pace, Griezmann, Dembele, Trincao on the bench, hasn't chose to deploy any of them yet, particularly with Pedri and Coutinho struggling.
And the message for Antoine Griezmann, who's already received a message by being left out of the Clásico starting lineup. What is it that Koeman doesn't have faith in him?
He's got to be hearing Bonnie Tyler in his earphones at the moment, because they're holding out for a hero.
Rafa Varane finds Lucas Vazquez. Comes off Alba, throw into Real Madrid. 16 minutes to go.
Alba must be perma-fit, because he's missed a lot of training and his work rate has been terrific, both defensively and in creative attack. He's been their #1 creative threat down the left in this second half. So does he last? Has he got another 15 minutes high effort in him?
Coutinho gets away from Lucas Vazquez and wins a free kick. And the referee played advantage. They were snapping at Coutinho's heels. The referee calls play back for the free kick. It's Lucas with the foul there. And when he can go no further, the free kick where it initially occurred. 11 fouls for each side. Messi to take this one. Can Barcelona cause the Madrid defence problems from a set piece? Courtois certainly had problems and spilt it, and in the end it's cleared by Rafa Varane. but it will be another corner for Barcelona.
His season flashed before him there. He's had a rotten couple of days as the ball rebounded off his chest into a gap that was, aka the open goal. He had to get up and get rid of it quickly. Did so.
Messi with the corner. Time ticking away for Barcelona, but still quarter of an hour to go. No changes made yet by Koeman. In comes the corner. Ramos and Varane between them, headed away. Dest to Alba.
Oh my word.
Alba under pressure from Asensio, gives it away to Vinicius, and Asensio can chase that. But the advantage is for Serginho Dest, who at this stage of the game, Graham, looking perhaps even faster than Jordi Alba.
But his positioning
has
was good there.
Left.
He absolutely knew where he had to be if the ball was played through there. He anticipated what the release pass for the counter might be, and because the release pass was a little bit long, his positioning won in the day. Dest looks much more mature than at 19 he's a right to be.
Busquets to Alba. Coutinho gets away from a rather loose-looking challenge from Asensio. Busquets again manages to find De Jong.
La la la.
De Jong goes down, but the referee allows play to continue. It's Asensio again. There's a chase for Langlais. He deals with it smoothly. Alba. De Jong.
It's Griezmann time, Simon.
And Alba, Ansu Fati making a run there. He was so disappointed that De Jong didn't see him. Here's Messi. Messi goes to the middle. The rebound nearly fell for him, but he had options down the right with Pedri. Meanwhile, it's Vinicius. Hits it straight at Gerard Piqué. Imprecisions creeping into both sides now. De Jong, first time to Coutinho. Messi. Busquets.
Oh, Vinicius, so close to doing precisely the right thing. Mind you, it is Messi territory. Hasn't scored a direct free kick all season.
Busquets protecting the ball, feels the challenge from behind.
It's a bit emblematic.
Catching him, it was
Vinicius, just a bit immature. All the right things, just lacking 5%, isn't it?
Graham, how many Clásicos have we commentated where Leo Messi's bulged the back of the net with a free kick from this distance?
Well, when you're leading scorer in this great traditional series of games, when you think about all the fabulous footballers who have gone before you, then it says something special about you. But it's a big battle now because Courtois isn't easily beaten from this range, and Messi hasn't been hitting the target often this season.
Messi, practically everybody in front of him. He hits it straight into the wall, and it goes out for a corner.
He warned us. He told us when he was in a run of scoring really regularly from free kicks, he said, don't forget the difficulty, don't forget how many times I don't score. These are the special moments, and that didn't really build up as being one of them.
As you can see, 30% of Barcelona's corners played short, 61 to the near post. This one played short again to Coutinho. Now Dest whips the cross in, and it very nearly fell for De Jong. A good cross from Serginho Dest.
Yeah, the pattern work. They've obviously decided that if the ball is played short, Madrid don't come screaming out looking for players offside. The ball into the box from Dest was nicely judged. There was a little moment of chaos, but nobody took advantage.
Coutinho with this corner. It's an in-swinger, headed away by Varane. Nearly fell to Messi, comes to Dest instead. And he returns the ball to Neto. Coming up for 80 minutes. Still no sign of a change from Ronald Koeman. That's given away to Cruz. Benzema. He's got Vinicius with him. Joining them now. Asensio. Played back, however, to Mendy. Here's Casemiro. Varane. Modric. And another change being prepared by Zinedine Zidane.
Rodrigo looking for the breakaway goal.
And three changes, Dembélé, Trincao and Griezmann for Barcelona.
All of which are significantly overdue.
Marco Asensio to be replaced by Rodrigo.
Yeah, there was a recuperation run there that he didn't make when Longley faked to pass back to Neto, turned and walked away from Asensio, and Asensio's long said to him, "You've had enough, old son."
Pedri goes to be replaced by Griezmann. Ansu Fati by Dembélé. I have to admit, the third, Busquets. Trincao comes on.
None of those who've gone off for Barcelona
go.
have had particularly good games. It needs to be said that this is not the version of Busquets that we're used to, and frankly, Pedri has looked overwhelmed and Coutinho has looked like a shadow of the player that he should be. Let's see if the system changes a little bit for Football Club Barcelona.
Coutinho still on the pitch, though. It's Ansu Fati who's been replaced. Here's Ramos to Mendy. Under pressure from Trincao, he plays it back to Courtois. Griezmann going into press. There's Lucas. There's one for Rodrigo. He should get there ahead of Longley. It's a good first touch. Longley holding up well. Longley's looked very assured this afternoon, Graham.
He's an exceptional defender. That's one of the reasons that they've renewed his contract, I think, till 2026, announced late Wednesday night after the Ferencváros victory. He's admired by all the players. Super professional, getting better with each season.
Dest. Trincao, poor first touch. He was fortunate and returns it for Dest. Ramos in firmly to prevent any ideas that Barca may have had of continuing with the break down the right flank. It's Coutinho. Messi. Dembélé. Good first touch to Alba, whose cross is blocked. Modric heads clear. Rodrigo helps it on its way. Alba wins it back. Dembélé with a little touch to Alba. Here's Dembélé. Modric again.
Very crowded, Simon. Only the quickest thinker and the ones with the most deft feet are going to come out of situations like that ahead of the game. And Madrid are doing so well in terms of not having any of Barca's creative players a split second more than they should have in order to think. Neto may not be wholly pleased with himself there. He's so close to getting it. But Ramos is a machine, man, a metronome.
As we see his penalty, the penalty that puts Real Madrid 2-1 up at the moment. Those live score images, absolutely spectacular, as always, as Rodrigo. And it's a last-ditch challenge by Jordi Alba, and a necessary one as well. Vinicius losing out. This is Dest.
What a game he's had.
Coutinho. De Jong. Now Dembélé. Cutting inside. Finds Coutinho. It's Trincao. Trincao was the cross, and Casemiro didn't get it, and Varane very nearly didn't get it either. In the end, he clears. Smile of relief, I suspect, on his face. Dest with the throw. Barcelona have just edged up to 52% possession now to 48 from Real Madrid. De Jong. Trincao goes down. Vinicius quick to play it out. This is Casemiro over the top for Vinicius to chase. Pauses, turns, supported by Cruz. Benzema. Cruz, Casemiro. Varane. Modric. Rodrigo. Varane again. Ramos to Casemiro. Benzema. Modric. There's Lucas. Cuts it square. Cruz with the shot. Cruz again. And well saved by Neto on 2 occasions. Toni Kroos's first shot, an absolute thunderbelt. And the keeper managing to block.
Kudos to the Spanish champions here. They're 2-1 up after a terrible week at Barcelona. They could close things off. In the build-up to Kroos's shot there, where Neto does pretty well, the fact is that they've got 5 players in front of the ball. There's a string of white shirts high at the pitch. Now, purists might say to Zidane, Catenaccio, learn from your Juve days, close the game off, not interested, giving us entertainment.
Cruz with the corner, headed away by Piqué. Dembélé back to Alba, it's stolen from Lucas Vázquez, he finds Ramos! And in the end, the save from Neto, and Varane heading from the rebound, couldn't hit the target. Ramos, I'm sure, felt the moment of glory there. Brilliant work from Lucas Vázquez, a great volley, well saved instinctively by Neto, and Varane failing to hit the target.
There would have been an assist for Dembele if this had gone in, a half assist, because he gives the ball away so cheaply in a brutal situation. When Lucas looks up and finds Ramos, you expect him to score there. It's not that he does badly, it's that Neto does absolutely fabulously. 3 big saves in the space of, what, 2.5 minutes from the Brazilian keeper.
Martin Braithwaite comes on to replace an exhausted Jordi Alba. What a performance from Alba, back from injury. De Jong losing out to Rodrigo. Here's Modric. Now Vinicius Junior, Benzema to his left. Vinicius tries the shot.
There are a lot of players in the Barcelona side who are walking now, and I think Koeman shares some of the blame in that he's squeezed everything out of his experienced players, leaving them on too long, and Madrid aren't just ahead in the scoreboard now. They're not allowing Barcelona the room or the time to mount a fight back.
Langley, 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, there's time.
We haven't seen Antoine Griezmann get a sniff at the ball yet, Graham.
No, just that one moment
Messi.
when Varane had to react really quickly. It was Griezmann who was breathing down his neck.
Dembélé controls well. Avoids the challenges. Puts the cross into Braithwaite. He plays it out to De Jong. Coutinho. Dest. Trincao. Loses out to Vinicius, and Mendy's there to support. Now Ramos, Vinicius, Casemiro. This is intelligent from Real Madrid. There's one for Benzema to chase, advantage to Dest, surely. Piqué it was who got the touch. Benzema insisting. It'll be a goal kick, though.
Yeah, they got away with one. There wasn't enough communication between Piqué and Dest about who was commanding the situation, irrespective of who's quicker, who was saying, this is mine to deal with. They got away with it.
Coutinho to Messi. Messi looking for Braithwaite. Courtois, safe as houses.
A brave striker. The word comes from the cabinet, naturally. Ennett Larsson, who was brought in, Koeman told me specifically to work with the strikers. Larsson has been doing more work with Braithwaite, trying to raise this eager, energetic player to the level that Barcelona needs, and over the months we'll see more of him.
That was a good touchdown to Griezmann. Griezmann first time to Dembélé. Dembélé gets into the area, tries to chip Courtois. Wasn't too far away. Brilliant defensive work from Lucas Vázquez, and Casemiro goes across to acknowledge that.
But once again, it's decision-making, because Braithwaite and Messi are both available if the centre comes in. Didn't.
To the final minute of the regulation 90. Madrid with their noses in front and seem to have things in control.
Messi on the point of going equal longest that he's not scored in a Clásico. It was 6 games before this. This is his 6th at the moment. He hasn't troubled the scorers. Let's see.
Modric gets away from De Jong. Still Modric.
Nice.
Lovely run. Neto. It's fallen to Rodrigo. Now Modric. Neto out of place,
clever.
and Modric with the
wonderful
finish. The Clásico goes back to Madrid. 3 points for Zinedine Zidane's champions. Barcelona in tatters at the end, and it's Luka Modric with brilliant footballing intelligence who gets the third.
I love Rodrigo's part in this too. You're a youngster, you've been dropped recently, you're on as a late substitute, and you find yourself in a position where there's enormous temptation to find your own space and shoot. And Rodrigo, from the instant that the rebound from Neto lands with him, just goes through a quick computer-fast degree of calculation. What do I do here? The Ballon d'Or winner then gets it, and as soon as, because he's two-footed, as soon as he gets rid of Neto,
Luka Modric making it 3-1. That surely is that. It's 90 minutes 54 seconds. 5 minutes have been added, but Barcelona don't seem to have what would be required. And Modric coming off the bench in the second half. I mean, it looked as though he could have kept that one for 5 minutes before taking his shot.
There was a little bit of five-a-side football going on there.
Dembélé, blocked by Casemiro. Don't tell me a big lad like you's going to be hurt by that one, Cassie. Important block.
He may be worried about future generations.
Well, he's certainly struggling, that's for sure. It's a Barcelona corner, though.
Another good opportunity for Dembélé there to do more than he has. And I'd only ask the question as I would if this was the same situation for Real Madrid or Villarreal, words exchanged. When a coach doesn't use a resource like that until late, then you don't always get the best from unusual footballers like Dembélé, and I think he might have been used earlier on.
In comes the corner. Ramos with the header, Griezmann underneath it, so too's Benzema. Rodrigo chasing.
Guess who?
Dest is there. Probably Barcelona's top performer over the 90 minutes, Graham.
I don't think there's any arguments whatsoever. He's given, I mean, pound for pound, the rival, his experience, change of position. It's been an exemplary performance from the young man.
Dembélé. And we saw Leo Messi get a yellow card.
Yeah, it seems absolutely evident that he's had words with the referee. Again, I'm not in great sympathy with Leo Messi because I think the referee has had a 9 out of 10 game.
Lucas Vázquez, great performance from him too at right back, coming on to replace Nacho midway through the first half. Another of those performers like Nacho, doesn't always get too much time in the limelight, but can be relied upon. Langley hits straight at Casemiro.
Yeah, done. Very well done.
Braithwaite doing well, but the advantage surely is for Sergio Dest. Messi. Trincao.
Ouch, hello.
Couldn't quite find Messi.
Welcome to the Clásico, says Ramos. No.
I'm not quite sure why the referee didn't allow advantage to be played there.
Nor why there wasn't a card, but that's another matter.
Cruz, Mendy. Piqué risking his head there, but only able to find Modric, who's quick to find Lucas. Now Rodrigo, Casemiro. Not too many white shirts coming forward, but here's one of them, Lucas. You get the impression Madrid might want to do some real damage to Barcelona here. Lucas, Casemiro, Cruz steps on it, turns away.
Smart move.
Mendy, Cruz, stretch for him. He gives it to De Jong. Messi, Trincao, Griezmann and Braithwaite are with him. And Ramos takes it off Messi.
It's been that kind of game, Simon.
It certainly has. And in a way, that's the image of the game. Ramos coming out of that challenge, imperious. Messi staying down.
You can't see the ball.
Up in desperation.
He's sticking his leg out behind him, wins it. Madrid come away with it, eat up time, win the Clásico. And frankly, Simon, second half, they have deserved it.
Oh, absolutely. There's only been one side in it, as far as I'm concerned, this second half, and that side has been Zinedine Zidane's Real Madrid, champions of La Liga Santander and winners of El Clásico, the last Clásico of the decade. The managers congratulate or commiserate with each other. The hymn of Football Club Barcelona rings around the stadium. Sergio Ramos wins again and is adjudged the Budweiser King of the match. All hail King Sergio Ramos. Graham, a deserved 3 points for Madrid.
I've enjoyed their character. I've enjoyed the wit with which they closed off the game. There might be controversy about the penalty that tilted the game. You and I see that differently. Barcelona were in it first half, should have used their bench, failed to. Koeman takes some of the culpability for this, but Spain's champions are worthy winners, and the fact is the Clásico has entertained the world again.
Koeman shaking the hands of his defeated players as they leave the pitch, including Antoine Griezmann, who might be asking himself why he was only brought on in minute 81 of the game. Real Madrid, worthy winners of the Clásico in the Camp Nou. Final score, Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 3.